Welcome everybody, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, I'm attempting to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a look today at a non-official greatest hits release by AC/DC. This is one of those ones where it's from either Russia or the Ukraine, and it's really well put together. And while it may even be official over there, it's not officially sanctioned by the band. But I'm going to get into why I think this release is a worthwhile release, and if you can track one down, why I think you should. First off, they've got 16 studio albums that they've put out throughout their career, including two of the biggest albums in hard rock and metal of all time, including 1979's Highway to Hell, which has gone 7 times platinum in the US. And then, of course, the biggest album of their career, Back in Black from 1980, which has sold 25 million copies alone just in the US. And throughout their career, they have sold over 200 million albums worldwide. Now, in all of this, they don't have a greatest hits. The closest thing they've ever come to that are with 2 soundtrack recordings that they've done. 1986 is Who Made Who, which is from the Stephen King movie Maximum Overdrive. That one went 5 times platinum. And then Iron Man 2 soundtrack from 2010, which went gold in the US. Both of those single disc collections that do cover the bulk of their hits, but again, not an official greatest hits. And then even with their 2 box sets, Bonfire from 1997, you can see it there behind me, which focused on rarities and live versions of stuff from the Bon Scott era, and then Backtracks from 2009, and you can also see it over there. That one focused on live tracks and rarities from throughout the band's whole career with both Bon Scott and Brian Johnson. And so again, no greatest hits within their catalog. So I came across this, I found it on eBay. I think it's really well put together. First off, it features hits from throughout their career all the way up to their latest album, Rock or Bust. And so it's got something from all of their albums. It has 38 studio hits on it. The first disc focuses on Brian Johnson, with the second disc focusing on Bon Scott. So I like that they break it up and separate it. If you're a fan of one era or the other, you can listen to that. But each one of the discs is non-chronological order. They've been arranged and sequenced like albums on their own. So there's peaks and valleys within it. You're not going through it starting with the Bon Scott era and arriving all the way at their latest Rock or Bust. And I appreciate it when they do that. In doing that also, they focused on the single releases, which aren't always the tracks that survive and make it through like in the live set. So if you're used to listening to live albums, which they put out a lot of those, and those are kind of the closest thing to greatest hits, this grabs all of the single releases from those albums, which sometimes they would only perform those live on that one tour, and then it's never performed again, kind of a thing. So the greatest hits really lets you know what it was they were focusing on and promoting on for each of those albums. And I find that to be make for an interesting listen in this. So let me give you the track rundown on this. Disc 1 kicks off with arguably one of their biggest hits, Thunderstruck. And it goes into Shoot to Thrill, and then Big Gun, which was from the Last Action Heroes soundtrack and is not on an AC/DC album. It is part of the Backtracks box set, but it's not on one of their albums, so I appreciate getting it here. Then Fire Your Guns, You Shook Me All Night Long, Heat Seeker, Back in Black, Who Made Who, Rock or Bust, Rock and Roll Train, Hard as a Rock, Hell's Bells, Money Talks, What Do You Do for Money, Honey, Are You Ready, Play Ball, Stiff Upper Lip, That's the Way I Want to Rock and Roll, Flick the Switch, and For Those About to Rock, We Salute You. That's the first disc. That's 20 tracks right there. The next disc focuses on the Bon Scott era, and it's got 18 tracks, kicking off with Highway to Hell, then into TNT, Whole Lotta Rosie, The Jack, Girls Got Rhythm, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, If You Want Blood, You've Got It, It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll, Sin City, Live Wire, Let There Be Rock, High Voltage, Rock and Roll, Damnation, Touch Too Much, Jailbreak, Shot Down in Flames, Kicked in the Teeth, and it closes with Big Balls. So this is the front cover of it, and it's referred to as Greatest Hell's Hits, which I like, doesn't just outright, greatest hits. And then it's got, live shots from the guys from the most recent album that they have put out, Rock or Bust. This is what it looks like on the underside. There's not a booklet with it, but again, I do think that it's done very well. There's the track listing on the backside, and you can see that it says it's, it's a Sony, Columbia Records release, but I don't believe it's official in any way, shape, or form. But it is a really great collection, and considering that they don't have any sort of best of, the closest thing we have are those two soundtrack recording albums. I really like this, and I own everything that AC/DC has put out, so by me buying this, it's not taking anything away from AC/DC, and certainly if they will put out a best of, I'll buy that. So I don't have any issues for myself going out and getting this. I can understand why some people wouldn't want, fans buying bootleg recording type things like this. But I see this as a thing that is, helping to promote the band and keep an eye on the band and that sort of stuff. And for me, it's just fleshing out my collection. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you did, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope everyone has a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.